Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday. I know it's not like the normal, typical Fridays that we've been used to, but that's okay. This is the new norm right now. We've so far got about another month of this shutdown, quarantine, and stuff, and it could be more, it could be longer. So we got to be prepared for that. We got to get our minds right. We got to, kind of deal with our stresses and our anxieties and our depressions. And as hard as that is right now, we need an outlet. And I hope this doing these videos and you watching these videos gives you a little bit of hope and a little bit of put your mind and your heart and your body and your soul at ease to learn this stuff so that we can get through things without being so stressed out we struggle to function. I know the feeling. I've been through it myself. It is very difficult to deal with times when you're stressed, when money's tight, food's tight, you can't see your friends. Normal life is being shut down. You're not going to work. You're stuck at home. You're with your kids. You're trying to homeschool. There's a lot going on right now, and there's a lot to handle through this time. So I completely understand it. I sympathize with it, and I'm trying to, be out there for people to help people through it because we need a kind of a resounding voice that gives us hope and gives us cheer and gives us a reason to see the good side of things and see the light instead of the dark. And so with that said, it's I'm feeling a lot seeing Facebook posts and different articles and what people are saying is that there's this big call to spirit, big call to get to spirituality right now. And it's very true. We need to the best way to get to salvation is to give ourselves to the higher entity that exists, that we don't, there's a lot of us that maybe don't trust in it, don't believe in it, but it is out there. And when we put our hope and our faith into that higher power, that higher energy, if you will. You can call it God, you can call it Taoism, you can go to the Quran, or go to the Bible, or go to whatever gives you that sense of the higher being, that higher spirit that lives inside of you, that reaches the rest of the world, the rest of the globe. That's what you need to get into right now. There's a lot of people talking about, doing more meditation and getting into that Zen, that Buddhism, and gives you that hope and that faith that you can believe in something, that something out there is there for you and not against you. So that's why I keep doing these videos. That's why I do my prayers every day, because it gives me that sense of belief and that sense of hope and faith that there's something out there bigger than myself, and there is, that is going to get us through this, and especially me and my family. So we got to get more people on board with that, because the more people that believe in that energy, the better off we'll be. So, I got the show set up for you. I'm trying to keep these short. Things are going to change a little bit as far as how I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do videos during the day anymore. I'm going to record them at night and then post them in the mornings, because I just don't have the time. I got to go to work during the day, and it's just doing these videos during the morning is really hurting my ability to do the work that I need to do. So I'm going to have to change how I set this up. It shouldn't affect you guys too much, but I won't be doing anything this weekend. This will be my last show before the weekend. And then Sunday night, I'll do my first recording that I'll have prepared for Monday morning. And we'll do Monday through Thursday, so you have everything set up for Monday through Friday for your day, to get your day off on the right foot and get your mind right and ready to go. Because I know a lot of people are struggling right now, especially being at home with their kids and stuff. It's not easy. It is not easy. So just have faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith that you're going to get through this, that everything's going to be okay on the other side. And like I was saying yesterday, with the whole educational portion of things, if you're trying to homeschool your kids, put a lot less stress and pressure on yourself that you're not keeping your kids up to speed on their education. Look, as long as your kids can read, write, and do basic math, do some philosophical discussion, music, art, get them running outside, do some physical activity and things like that. You don't put so much pressure on yourself. As long as they're doing the basic things, that's what the Greeks used to do. And those people were pretty smart. So that it was very basic understanding of information, because it's not forcing the information on people. It's teaching them how to teach themselves, how to learn themselves, because that's all I'm doing for you too. I'm not forcing you to learn anything. I'm showing you how you can teach yourself, how you can learn yourself, because that's how we all learn. We all learn by doing. We're all image-driven, physically driven people, and we all learn at our own pace, our own speeds. So you learn what you desire to learn. If you decide to pick up a book on Zen Buddhism or Taoism or the Bible or whatever it is that you decide to learn about, you can learn anything you want to if you desire to. So the desire to learn is better than the ability to learn. It's like our abilities are all different. So you can train yourself in any way that you see fit, that is best for you. And I can only show you the way to get there. The rest is up to you. So let's start out with the prayer. I've got a couple things just on what I want to talk about today. Being a fearless society, not a fearless, but a fearless. Seeing life as natural and organic, and back to why I'm involved with this water machine versus other multi-level marketing companies that are out there, which I've tried before once or twice. And the reason that I didn't get involved with those different entities. So let's get right down to it. Take a deep breath, because that's the best way to get your mind set. The other night, when I was really struggling and I had a lot of stress and anxiety built up in my chest, the best way to get myself through it was to close my eyes and breathe, and feel myself breathing and get myself into the present moment. And so as I did that, and as I was breathing and going through the proper motions of in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth, I could feel myself relaxing and settling into a more meditative state. So here we go. Thank you, Lord, for this day, and thank you for all the wonderful things that I have in my life and all the blessings that come to me, for my 2 wonderful children and the roof over our heads, the wood stove that keeps us warm, the trees that feed the fire, food in my fridge and on my table. Please send blessings to all the families out there that are struggling right now, and the people that are stressed and panicked and in depression and having a hard time dealing with the current situation. And please send them blessings and send them strength and courage that they can get through this, and that they will. Please guide us through this difficult time. We need your help more than anything, more now than ever. So please come to us and give us the guidance that we need, and send us the messages on how to proceed. We need that. Amen. God bless my family, and God bless your family through this time. I truly send those blessings to you. And as I've been saying, to me, prayer is the best way to reach the 7 billion people on this planet, because I can't, reach all those people personally, even through this YouTube, if it was to get to that kind of popularity. The best way to reach people is through the mind meditative practices and spirituality, which is why there's that call to get back to meditation and spirituality, because that is how we connect to each other. We are all here as one. We are all connected to this earth, and the earth and humans and animals and trees and everything, oxygen, carbon dioxide, everything is symbiotic to each other. And we need that. We need to believe in that energy, because it exists. And if we can all be on that same kind of wavelength, we'll be stronger together. So first things first, I like to get into this Zen book, which is it's so fun to get through this, and this goes into exactly what I'm talking about. The things that I've been saying all along are kind of written right in this book, and this is why I basically am just regurgitating information that I have learned. Certainly I have my own spin on things, but for the most part, it's hand in hand with what I'm reading on these ancient teachings. Yesterday I said I didn't know where this book came from or who the authors were, and it was printed by the Peter Pauper Press in Mount Vernon, New York. It's an introduction to Zen with stories, parables, and cone riddles told by the Zen masters, with cuts from old Chinese ink paintings. It's really, it's so fascinating to read information that has been talked about by Zen masters and people for years and years and years, thousands of years. And we can use those lessons and those teachings today to help us through tough times. It can always, it's universal, it's endless, it's limitless. It is limited and it is limitless, and that is Zen. Zen is, without being worldly, a discipline more suited than classic Buddhism to worldly men seeking a higher spiritual experience. It neglects karma, reincarnation, and nirvana, but it still demands meditation, concentration, and physical discipline. Its unique teaching is that enlightenment may come to dedicated laymen, and that this enlightenment may occur suddenly and intuitively, not necessarily requiring years of study and concentration. For me, that's exactly right. I didn't study this for years and years and years. It just kind of came upon me, and through finding certain books, through messages from the universe that came to me, I ended up on information that was so apparently true that I had no choice but to focus on it and follow it and discover it and learn it. And it's led me on this path where, I did meditation a few times. And the first time I went, the teacher gave me a book called Mindfulness in Action. And I'm going to butcher the author's name, is Chogyam Trungpa, I think his name, Chogyam Trungpa, I think his name was. And he did a lot of meditative teachings all across the globe from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And he wrote that book, Mindfulness in Action. And it talks about the necessity to get into the meditative practices and how it helps us find ourselves and love ourselves and care about ourselves and eliminate the negative thoughts in our mind about ourselves and who we are and what the world has told us and what other people say about us. It is not important what other people think of you. It is only important what you think of yourself. Now, of course, if you find yourself being angry or frustrated or upset about certain things, it's because of something outside of you that is bothering you. If you are satisfied within, then nothing frustrates you, nothing angers you, and nothing bothers you. You have this, you're protected. You've protected yourself, knowing full well that you are comfortable in your own skin. So, continuing, the achieving of enlightenment in Zen is not at all a rational or methodical process. It is completely non-rational, unexplainable, and intuitive. The Zen training and concentration is the characteristic cross-legged position, and the Zen teaching of koans, non-logical riddles and stories, are designed to put the student in a state where he can abandon logic and make the leap upward into enlightenment. In Japanese, this state of enlightenment is called Satori. In Satori, we're able to look beyond our immediate world into the universe of original, eternal, absolute being, often called the Great Emptiness, which was before our world was formed and will be after it disappears. It is always there and always in existence, whether we believe it to be there or not. If we continue on, it'll still be there. If we don't continue on, it will still be there. In this condition, we lose our sense of self and know ourselves to be part of the great oneness of all. Knowing ourselves to be part of absolute being, our ego and our problems of ego, sin, pain, poverty, fear, all dissolve. This is the salvation in Zen terms. So powerful to have your mind right, in the right place, thinking of the right things and being in the right peace of mind. So getting into our Wayne Dyer of the day, just one quick poem written. This was from Wayne Dyer's teacher, Nisargadatta Maharaja, wrote, "Wisdom is knowing I am nothing. Love is knowing I am everything. And between the two, my life moves." From the 5th verse, living impartially is what Wayne Dyer labels this chapter. And the 5th verse goes like this: "Heaven and earth are impartial. They see the 10,000 things as straw dogs. The sage is not sentimental. He treats all his people as straw dogs." Essentially, a straw dog is something that can easily be thrown away or used for its purpose, and it's indispensable. And not to treat people as indispensable, but that's what we are. We are just here for a brief moment in time, and we must accept everything as it comes. It is the way that life exists. An animal does not concern itself with dying. It only concerns itself with living, of tracking down its food and surviving each day. Dying happens. It happens to all of us. The sage is like heaven and earth. To him none are especially dear, nor is there anyone he disfavors. He gives and gives without condition, offering his treasures to everyone. Between heaven and earth is a space like a bellows, empty and inexhaustible. The more it is used, the more it produces. Hold on to the center. Man was made to sit quietly and find the truth within, centering ourselves, living without impartiality. The Tao does not discriminate. This is Wayne Dyer. Period. Like heaven and earth, it is impartial. The Tao is the source of all, the great invisible provider. It doesn't show preference by giving energy to some while depriving others. Rather, the basic life-sustaining components of air, sunshine, atmosphere, and rain are all provided for all on our planet. By choosing to harmonize our inner and outer consciousness with this powerful feature of the Tao, we can realize the true self that we are. The true self is our unsentimental sage aspect that lives harmoniously with the Tao. This aspect doesn't view life in one form as more deserving than another, and it refuses to play favorites. Or as Lao Tzu states, he treats all his people as straw dogs. Lao Tzu uses this term to describe how the Tao, as well as the enlightened ones, treats the 10,000 things that comprise the world of the manifest. In Stephen Mitchell's translation of the Tao Te Ching, he explains that straw dogs were ritual objects venerated before the ceremony, but afterward abandoned and trampled underfoot. In other words, Taoism reveres and respects existence impartially, as an ebb and flow that is to be revered and then released. With impartial awareness, the sage genuinely sees the sacredness within all the straw dogs in this ceremony we call life. And there's much more to that chapter, but I'm not going to read each chapter. If you're really interested in the book, you can actually find it online. It has each of the 81 verses of the Tao and Wayne Dyer's personal take on all of it. So we need to get back to this type of spiritual sense and to be with the Namaste, to be together with each other and seeing souls instead of seeing bodies, seeing people, seeing skin color, seeing eye color, seeing the physical features of people. I do not see the physical features of people. I see the soul that is inside the body, and the soul is what treats me well. If the person is angry, if the person does not treat me well, it is not the soul that is angry, it is the person that has been shaped in that way. Recently, yesterday, here's kind of an interesting story. I'm a believer in all kinds of different spiritual beliefs, religions, things like that. There's good and bad to each of these teachings. I have read some of the Bible, not all of the Bible. I've seen different excerpts from it, and I believe a lot of it to be very true to that spiritual self, that spiritual sense. The Bible is sold more copies than any book in history, which to me says it's changed more lives than any teaching in history. Men and women who go to jail, to prison, end up, a lot of them get into the Bible, and it changes their life inside of the prison, and it changes who they are and what they're supposed to be. The same thing with Alcoholics Anonymous. Their first step to adjustment is through spirituality, or drug changing classes is drug cleansing classes is same thing, as they go to spirituality first, because that is what changes the soul. When I went to therapy, family counseling, or divorce therapy, if you will, that was the teacher that we went to see, went right to spirituality. And so I must say that there was a picture of Jesus growing up that I'd had since I was 6 years old. And I'd lost it once I left my parents' house after high school. But this picture was Jesus holding a small lamb and touching gently the mother, or at least that's what I see it as. And it's a beautiful picture, and there's all these sheep in the background and a beautiful skyline in the background. And it's just a wonderful picture, and I can remember it as a child in my room. Ever since I was about 6 years old, I had this picture, and I always revered this picture of Jesus. And it's not in the sense that people make fun of people of faith and Christians and people who follow Jesus in the Bible, and it's very hurtful to discriminate and have prejudice against anybody. That is what the Bible teaches us. And for those that make a mockery of it, it is hurtful to feel that negative energy and that aspect. To discriminate against any one person is to discriminate against ourselves. And that's what it teaches us. And so I don't have, just this picture of Jesus with a lamb. I have a little Buddha in my house too, because I feel the Buddha in the Zenness as well, because it is a collaboration of understandings of different spiritualities and religious preferences from the past. Socrates, back in the day of the Greeks, he was killed, he was forced to drink the hemlock juice, which was a poison, to basically commit suicide, because he didn't believe in Greek gods. And that was the major teaching at that time. And the upper counselors felt that Socrates was persuading the youth down a dark path by not teaching them about the gods, that the gods did not exist, and it was going to bring anger and hatred upon the Greeks. So they forced Socrates to drink the hemlock juice to kill himself, when in reality we've learned years later that he was right, that Socrates was right, that the gods weren't real. And see, that's kind of goes along with the truth, and how as the lie goes around the world, the truth is still putting its boots on. So the lie traveled around, and they made Socrates kill himself, but he was speaking the truth, and the truth is what got slandered and shut down. And we see that even worse now and today, with all the information and misinformation being spread, is we don't know what is true and what is not true, and we won't find out for years down the road what was accurate and what was not accurate. And that's the shame of everything that is happening right now. With the decisions we're making to shut down society over something that, if you look at the statistics of it, is not killing that many people, and most of those people are older people, and that's not good. I'm not saying that's good. I'm not defending that one way or another. But I also have to ask the question, how many people is it hurting by shutting society down? People are really struggling right now. Parents being locked down in their homes with their kids trying to homeschool, schools shut down, everything is shut down. People going crazy inside their homes and losing their minds and being stressed out, and calling doctors and wondering what to do and not being able to go to therapy. And there's a lot of society that's struggling. We're all struggling because we're shutting everything down. And I have to ask if that's a better path. And to me, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. There's so many possibilities to the right answer, but what is the truth? And as we make decisions based on emotions and fear, the truth is waiting to put its boots on, and we will not find out the truth for years down the road as to how many people will die because of our reaction to something rather than the virus itself. So beside that, and I'm not going to talk too much about that because I don't want to get into the negative aspect of things. I bring it up because I have to look at both sides of the coin. It is not a one-sided argument. So if anybody wants to discuss these things, if anybody is struggling with their stress and being able to deal with their life and need help, need guidance, and need support, need love and care, and someone who's a listening ear who can help them through things, you can call me at any time. You can email me at any time at logicalhippie@gmail.com. You can visit my page at Light News on Facebook, and I will be there for you. Look, I post these things, and I'm, for the most part, I'm pretty serious when I talk on these videos, because I want to be a serious person about this situation. But in general, I make jokes, I play, I have a good time. I don't take life too seriously. Like, it is what it is. I'm not afraid of death. And that's kind of the thing that is driving this fear, is everyone is afraid of death. Everyone is afraid of dying, or people dying, or things dying, and things not being the same, and people not being around anymore. I totally get that. It's not that I don't get that, but I have, through spirituality, understood that things happen for a reason. Everything is here for a reason. And death is part of that reason. I am born, and I will die at some point. My kid's the same thing. And as sad as that is, as sad as it is to consider death and not being around, or your kids not being around, it is the reality of life. And I have accepted that reality. And if it happens, it happens, and it will be a sad moment. And I don't go there. I don't think about those things. But I do accept the fact that everything comes to an end, and the Tao will continue with me or without me, because it is limited and both limitless. It is the paradox. So that is why we must get back to a more spiritually centered life, so that we can be of more acceptance and understanding, and eliminate the fear of our life. To see people standing in line at grocery stores outside, the times are going to be tough. It is going to be difficult simply just to get food, simply to do the basic things that we do every single day. And we have at least another month to do this. And is life going to be the same when we come back? I doubt it. I don't think so, because once we get out of this, if we do, or when we do, which, I mean, I know we will. I know we'll get through this. It's a matter of how and when and where and what and why. And so at that point, what happens? Do we all rejoice and have a huge party? I don't think it's going to end like that. It's not just going to be like one day it's all over and we all rejoice and there's no more bombs. The society is now aware of the dangers of bacteria and viruses, and what they do every day in their lives, and what they touch, and what they see, and how they interact. And we're going to end up, I feel we're going to end up with a forced vaccination for this virus. And I'm against that. I don't want the government to decide what I should take and what my kids should take to exist in this world. Because when we start allowing the government to decide what is best for us, we end up a lot like communist China and Nazi Germany, because they were deciding what was best for people. And it could be lethal injection. We don't know. We don't know what would be best for us down the road, not just right now. It is not about just right now. It is about the future of today and what society is going to look like a couple of years from now, a decade from now, 100 years from now. Are we going to continue down this path? And that is up to us to decide, and we will see, because society will most likely be different when we get back to living. So it is important to be centered and to meditate and to separate yourself from your negative thoughts, your anxiety, and your fear, futuristic events and past events that is driving those feelings of that fear. We need to be a fearless society, not a fearless. Fearless is good too, to a certain degree, but we must also be consciously aware of what is out there. A fearless society is a society that lives a little bit more on the understanding of life happens, life and death happen. And sometimes the natural way is the way it goes. We've been accustomed to a life, or to a society that, to a certain degree, messes with God, messes with the universe, makes alterations to life, saves lives through medical alterations. And I'm not saying that's bad, but there's a limit to how much we intervene with the natural order of things, because we've altered the chemical makeup of food, and that alters our lives. That alters the chemical balance in our bodies. It is the way of things. When you start altering how things are produced, start altering nature and the natural order. You start altering something else down the road, is the cause and effect. So that is why I had to get into, I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've been a bartender. I've sold cigars. I've washed dishes. I've been a cook. I've been to school for cooking. I worked in a hotel at the front desk. I ran a bed and breakfast. I've done a lot of things in my life. And I've tried multi-level marketing businesses, network marketing businesses. One was in communications. One was literally walking door to door soliciting business. Um, I couldn't believe in those things because they weren't selling things that I felt had value to me or to other people. They were unnecessary. And of course, at this time, with everybody working from home, there's a lot of these MLM network marketing industries that are jumping all over people, trying to tell people they can work from home, they can sell this product and that product, and it's the next best thing. And here's how you improve your Amazon business, your exposure, you can be a coach, you can be a life coach, you can be all these things now, right? That allow you to work from home. And that's all well and good. And maybe they are the next best thing, but I also have to look at the reality of it and why, I make choices on what I find value in and things that are more natural, more naturally occurring, that are good for me, not just good for me and my kids and my family, but also good for you too. Like I can't get into the plexus and buying probiotics and things that are chemically altered to be in a form that is not natural. I would rather eat oranges. I'd rather tell my kid, if people like, and this is what I've been telling people, go buy oranges and apples and fruits and vegetables and drink your tap water. Like, yeah, you can buy one of these machines. You could not buy one of these machines. It makes no difference to me. I know I can afford it because it's $5 a day. And I know that I save money by not buying. I can buy this machine by not going out every day for lunch and buying pizza, because I'll spend $5 to $8 a day going out to lunch, when I'm at work. And so I can not go out to lunch when I'm at work and make my own lunch instead, save that money and put it towards a water machine that I know has an abundance of antioxidants, and it's a better water than my tap water or any water or fluid that is out there. And so I can make that healthy choice because health is important to me, because life is important to me, living is important to me. And so because I know that I can afford it based on changing my spending habits, I know other people can do it too. And it has more benefits than just drinking water because it also provides a hand sanitizer. Now, the reason I got into it is because it is a naturally occurring water in this world. It already exists. There's a waterfall in France that produces this water that people go to collect this specific water because it's empowered. It's electrified, hydrogen-filled, antioxidant water. It's very special, particular water. It's not just any water, but it already naturally occurs. And so they just figured out how to put this lightning bolt in a box, literally electrified water, which already exists naturally. It's not altered. It's not pasteurized like milk. It's not some sort of, probiotic dry mix that you add to drinks, or it's some sort of chemically altered process. It is natural, and all it is electrified water. That's the only difference with this thing. It's not like essential water that has the baking soda added to it to increase its pH. It already exists. It's already natural. Now, the benefit of this company, Enagic, that sells these machines, is it makes no difference to me. I don't push this stuff on people. If people want it, they want it. If people care about health, they'll get one. They'll find a way to get one. It's proven, because there's people out there with very little money that have figured out how to have one of these machines because they've realized the power of the antioxidants that's in it, and the cellular, how it refreshes your cells in your body, and how it allows your body to take care of itself because it's operating at the optimum level simply by changing your water. Now, I can believe in this because it changes my health and it changes the health of my kids and my family, and that's what I care about most. But the bonus is that it's my machine. I don't have to continue buying product. I don't have to stock stuff to sell things like you have Plexus or whatever it is, that Juice Plus or whatever other MLM company out there, and then they have their compensation plan. If you sell this many, and then you get somebody to join in, and they sell some, and then they get somebody to join in, and they sell some. Yes, each company has a compensation plan, and people say, well, it's like a pyramid scheme. It ain't a pyramid scheme. Okay, so it is, but every corporation in the world is a pyramid scheme. You have somebody at the top, and it all trickles down to the very bottom. And you have sales agents, you have your sales director, to your sales managers, to your sales people, who are all making compensation based on their productivity. This is no different. I'm just my own boss, and I don't have to carry stock. I don't have to carry the product. I just relay the information to people. They make the choice whether to buy it or not, and it gets shipped out by the company. And sure, I get my cut, and that's how it works. But I'm not, whether I sell one of these or not really makes no difference to me. What's important to me is health. And see, the disturbing part to me is that people will get these checks in the mail and they won't spend them on health. They'll spend it on junk. They'll spend it on crap food or an Xbox or a television or whatever it is that they desire, their addiction, rather than their health. And then when they get sick, they'll complain that they're not healthy. And so that's where I really struggle with it, because I want people to be responsible. I want people to make responsible choices and decisions. And it bothers me when people complain that they're sick or they're not healthy or they're afraid of a virus when they don't take care of themselves. And so I always say I've said it from the very beginning, buy fruits, eat oranges, eat fresh from the source, natural, as organic and natural as you can. If you can't afford natural and organic, then get the next best thing. But still, all you need is fruits and vegetables and water. You don't need much else. Very simple. We're very simple beings. We're not carnivores. We eat meat because it tastes good, because we learn we can eat it, but it's very hard on our bodies to break it down, and has very little nutritional value. It has protein, okay? But you can get your protein from a lot of different places. And all you got to do is talk to a vegetarian or a vegan to figure out how to eat without eating meat. And they are healthy as can be, because they're putting the right nutrients, minerals, and water into their bodies that isn't chemically altered, like vitamin water or Dasani water or whatever else is out there that people say that you need. So it is about choices and personal responsibility and getting back to self and understanding the very simplistic part of our human body is that our body will take care of itself if we put the right things inside of it. And that's why I do the water. Whether you want it or not, that's up to you. I don't push it. I encourage you. I absolutely 100% encourage you to look into it, to ask for more information. Please do. And I will show you the undeniable truth of what this machine can do for your body. So please give me a shout, logicalhippie@gmail.com. If you need help with your stress, with your anxiety, with just talking to somebody, getting out some things off your chest, things that are bothering you, things that you're struggling with homeschooling. I used to be homeschooled, with all kinds of things, whatever it is that's bothering you. If you are struggling to get up in the morning, if you need help being motivated, not being freaked out, understanding that somebody's there for you to listen to you and help you through this, please reach out to me, logicalhippie@gmail.com. My Facebook page is Light News. I'm going to sign out for now. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm not going to check in this weekend. I won't be doing another video until Sunday night, so you'll get to see that on Monday morning. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.